All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing fall and winter testing. I've got a few scents lined up here that I want to test for basically the upcoming fall and winter season. Go through, you just saw it in the video before this one or the B-roll up to this one. I'll show you what we're working with. So for today's candles, I'm going to be using the 9-ounce amber jar. I'm using two different wicks with this one. I'm using Black Tie Barn Premier wicks. I've got the 715 and the 720. I don't know exactly which one is going to work with the oils that I'm using, but I do know it's going to be down to pretty much those two wicks. So I want to test each of those scents with both of these wicks. And for the wax, I'm going to be using 6006, which is a parasoy blend. I've got that melting right now in the 2 auto melter.
Somebody help me get over it. Somebody help me, yeah. Somebody help me get over it. Somebody help me.
And if you can see it right there, I've got the wick secured down with red RTV, which I have a link in the description down below for. This is a gasket adhesive. It withstands temperatures well above what your candle is ever going to get to. So even though it is an adhesive and it's meant for like engine gaskets, it's not going to be a problem throwing off fumes or anything like that. This stuff will harden in about an hour, and in 24 hours it hardens like cement. These wicks are not going to pull out. They're not going anywhere. You'll actually pull the wick out of the tab before you'll loosen it from the bottom of the jar. All right, so we've got probably an hour before the wicks kind of harden up to where we can pour oil in there, and then we've got probably an hour to an hour and a half before that wax fully melts. So we're gonna go ahead and cut back to when we're ready to pour. so I'm just about done with these, but I wanted to talk about a few of the things that I did that I really didn't show on video or say previously, and that is the temperature of the wax and how much oil I actually added to each of the candles. Now for this one, you saw that I added the oil to the individual jars and then filled them individually. This isn't something I would normally do if I was making a large batch of candles. If I was doing that, I would use a regular pouring pitcher. I'd pour in probably 3 pounds of wax and then add the oil to that, stir it, and then add to 6 or 8 candles all at one time or whatever I'm pouring. With this one, since I'm doing a test method, that's why I added it individually to the jars. And the wax was heated up high enough, probably around like 180, which is high enough for 6006, to directly pour it into the jar with the oil, and it's gonna blend perfectly. Now, if you are doing anything like I was just saying, putting the oil into the jars, filling it with wax, you definitely wanna make sure that the temperature of the wax is up high enough to where when the oil goes into the jar, it doesn't automatically solidify. And if your wax is hot enough, it's not gonna do that. It's gonna blend almost instantly. And then you saw that I used the metal stir to go ahead and stir it a little bit more just to make sure that the wax and the oil was blended properly. And then of course, because like I was saying, I'm pouring the same scent in 2 different jars with 2 different wicks, I went ahead and used the warning label that's on the bottom of the jar. And I wrote the 15 and the 20, which is the 715 and the 720 Premier wicks. That way I know which one burns better once I actually start lighting these candles. And I know these wicks are gonna work perfect. In this jar with this wax and pretty much any oil, it bounces between those 2 wicks. So even if one isn't the proper one, it's still gonna burn just fine. It's either gonna burn just a little bit hotter, which isn't a problem because it's not gonna create like a huge melt pool or a huge flame. It's just gonna burn a little bit quicker through the candle. And then the other one is gonna burn perfect. And I've tested these jars and this wax and these oils enough times to where I've narrowed it down to at least those 2 wicks when I'm making new candles. All right, so these are just about to solidify. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the wicks. I didn't add wick tabs or wick holders to the tops of these. This is one, I actually like to pull the wicks after the wax is solidified a little bit. You just pull the wick straight up, you move it to the center, and you get perfect centers every time. You will have to deal with sinkholes, but again, we're working with 6006, which is notorious for sinkholes. right, that's it. So that is all of the test candles that I'm going to be doing. I don't know if I mentioned it previously in the video, but I used 8%. So the oil that went into each jar was around 0.64, 0.65 ounces. And 8% is usually what I use in pretty much all the candles, all oils, all waxes, just to test it. Some waxes I might go down a little bit, some oils I might go down a little bit, and some oils and waxes I might go up a little bit. But 8% is usually a pretty good line for any candle that I make. And I went back and forth between the glossy label and the matte label, just to see which one I like better. I definitely lean a little bit more towards the glossy label, but depending on what you're making, depending on your brand, the matte labels look fantastic. And of course I do print labels for all kinds of makers, so if you do have label needs, just shoot me an email. I can give you a quote on anything that you need. There's no minimums on design or quantities. If you wanted 1 or 1,000 and 1,000 different designs, I can do it. All right, so here in about 10 to 14 days, I'm gonna go ahead and do another video. I'm gonna go through and test all these, and I'm actually gonna do a full review on the oils that I used in this one, which was Hive and Honey. So definitely stick around for that. I've got a lot more oil reviews coming from a few different companies, and I've got some new waxes and of course some new melters that I'm gonna be doing full reviews on. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.